Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening. Chapter 274, The 12th Floor, Heaven. 200 train coins for a ticket? Your goddamn lord is a robber. What kind of bullshit? Heaven grants eternal life. The priest smiled. Heaven is my lord's sacred land, filled with warmth, light, and love. At that moment, Chizhou, who had also arrived, spoke up. I have a question. He stared intently at the priest and said, Is this heaven you speak of, the 12th floor of this castle? As Chizhou asked this crucial question, everyone present turned to look at him. Yet the priest, like a pre-programmed NPC, repeated, Heaven is my lord's sacred land, filled with warmth, light, and love. Chizhou smirked coldly. Light? What a load of crap. When Weichu disappeared, he had already tried using Fate Insight to probe the 12th floor. It was completely inaccessible. This meant the 12th floor's map hadn't loaded yet. This castle was like the side-scrolling platform games from childhood. Until you cleared the current level, the next one wouldn't load. The so-called heaven the priest spoke of wasn't the 12th floor at all. Having thoroughly searched the already loaded basement and floors 1 through 11, Chizhou found no trace of Weichu. The guy must have been transported to some isolated map. What a pain. Hope he didn't die in that so-called heaven. Of course, there was another possibility. That Weichu actually made it to the 12th floor. But since he didn't go through the normal route and instead paid for a shortcut, no staircase appeared, he was taken up by a beam of light. Weichu was a decent guy. Though a bit thick-headed, he always delivered on his special module missions. His combat abilities were impressive, with excellent battle instincts. Having such a frontline fighter in the future team would be great. He'd make excellent bait to draw enemy fire. Weichu needed rescuing, and the 12th floor needed visiting. Because the top floor, the 12th, housed a hidden treasury containing a 7th-grade treasure chest. But regardless of which scenario was true, the immediate priority was clearing this level. Sincere repentance, huh? The crowd was still arguing loudly about the indulgence prices. Of course, there were still a few who hadn't repented and had attempts remaining. Like Taiding, who stepped toward the confession booth under everyone's watchful eyes. Those already at the booth quickly made way. Tiger, standing nearby, rubbed his hands obsequiously. Holy shit, boss, you're finally making your move. Damn shame that kid got ahead of you, TSK. If boss had gone first, you'd have cleared this level no problem. What are you all staring at? Get lost. Don't disturb our boss's confession. Or I'll slaughter every last one of you. He's right. You'd better keep your distance like before. Taiding stepped onto the confession platform and addressed the crowd. Tiger obediently retreated, while Chizhou had already withdrawn. The remaining orderly heaven members, seeing Taiding bathed in light wearing his eerie plague doctor mask, also chose to retreat. Clearly, no one wanted to provoke a top-tier wanted criminal here. With everyone at a distance, Taiding began his confession. Or rather, he was executing Chizhou's command. To perform a sincere confession. Since Chizhou was his master and he couldn't disobey, Taiding delivered an utterly genuine confession. The moment he finished, the 11th floor lit up again. A spiral staircase materialized not far from Taiding. The real staircase to the 12th floor. The level clear reward also appeared at Taiding's feet. A exquisitely crafted small treasure chest. After storing the chest, Taiding descended the platform and ascended straight to the 12th floor via the staircase. The onlookers gaped in astonishment. What the hell? Didn't that guy earlier already clear it? What was that light beam then? This staircase looks way more legit. Plus he got a treasure chest reward, now this looks like a proper level clear. Soon, realization dawned. I get it now. That guy earlier used an indulgence. Exactly, must have bought his way through. Haha, so he cheated his way up. The criminals' morale soared as they followed Taiding. However, an invisible barrier blocked their path at the 12th floor staircase. The priest maintained his kindly expression. I told you, only those who confess sincerely may enter heaven. Or would you prefer an indulgence? The criminals chorused. Fuck. While everyone was shocked, Chizhao found it somewhat amusing. To clear this level actually required sincere confession. Difficult yet not difficult at the same time. Like the second floor's flesh kitchen, only qualified individuals could ascend this staircase. Simultaneously, he expanded his fate inside upward. Access granted. With Tiding clearing the level, the 12th floor map loaded successfully. Come on, let's see what this so-called heaven really looks like. The 12th floor was pitch black, so dark you couldn't see your hand before your face. And completely empty, devoid of anything. As Chizhao expanded his search, he spotted Wei Chu lying on the ground. The guy was smiling like he was having a pleasant dream. What's going on? Lao Yu, wait here. I'm going up. If things feel off, don't hesitate to strike first. After these instructions, Chizhao vanished on the spot. Where insight reaches, teleportation follows. Chizhao teleported directly to the 12th floor beside Wei Chu. Hey, wake up. Shaking proved ineffective, so Chizhao delivered a resounding slap. Smack. 5 bright red fingerprints immediately bloomed on Wei Chu's left cheek. Still not waking up. Huh? Why did Tiding collapse too upon arrival? This 12th floor is haunted. Wait, why am I unaffected? Because I hacked my way in? Actually reaching the 12th floor, Chizhao realized it was darker than he'd sensed. True, boundless darkness. He promptly summoned Old Master Ren. The zombie's eyes emitted intense beams that served as light sources. So dark. What kind of hell is this 12th floor? Can't even see your hand in front of your face. Even Old Master Ren's kilometer-piercing beams barely illuminated 5 meters here. This direction. Sensing Tiding's location, Chizhao had Old Master Ren carry Wei Chu as they headed over. Speaking of which, where's that mysterious treasury? Chizhao took out the key obtained from the 3rd floor's blood pool. The previously ordinary key now seemed magnetized, drawn towards something. Getting a response. The pull leads exactly toward Tiding's direction. Saves me from teetering. After about 10 minutes, Chizhao found Tiding standing motionless. Glancing at Wei Chu drooling on Old Master Ren's shoulder, Chizhao frowned. What's with everyone? Tiding's asleep too? Attempts to wake him proved futile. Tiding's soul wasn't responding to commands. Weird, damn weird. Persisting with commands, Tiding finally responded. What's going on? Chizhao asked. I had a dream. In it, I seem to remember who I was. I didn't die in that town. I escaped successfully. So what's your name? Tiding shook his head. Forgot the moment I woke up. Fine. Thought you'd reclaim your original name. Tiding remained silent, quietly producing the treasure chest from clearing the level. Chizhao opened it to find some train coins and several high-grade potions. He stored everything in his realm bracelet. With Tiding awake, Chizhao relaxed. By that logic, Wei Chu must be dreaming too. According to Tiding, probably some pleasant dream. Next, Chizhao followed the key's guidance onward. After 5 more minutes, the pulling force vanished. Chizhao stopped. The key in his palm floated up, inserting itself into thin air and rotating once. In the darkness, golden double doors slowly opened. Beyond them stood an opulently decorated bedroom in Western courtly style. Chizhao raised an eyebrow as Tiding entered first to scout. Confirming no danger, Chizhao proceeded inside. The immaculate bedroom showed faint signs of recent habitation. The treasure chest. Where is it? Chizhao used to think treasure chests were, well, chest-shaped. Wooden boxes with openable lids. But after encountering countless bizarre variants, he knew anything here could be a chest. While searching, he suddenly froze. The bedding was warm. Swallowing hard, Chizhao quickened his movements. Finally, in a small drawer beneath the vanity, he found the 7th grade treasure chest. Not large. About 30 centimeters long, 10 wide and tall. A rectangular box. Chest secured, Chizhao bolted. Not staying a second longer. Whether the 12th floor gets cleared matters not. The chest is ours. Exiting the bedroom, they hurried toward Tiding's entry point. En route, Chizhao opened the chest. At the bottom lay 100 train coins. Above them rested a thumb-thick, 10-centimeter-long cylindrical black rod. Beside it was a green skill card. Chizhao pocketed the card. Only the train's light screen could identify it. Then he picked up the black rod. Warm to the touch like premium jade, with actual temperature. Black torch, releases wide-range black flames that persist until targets are completely consumed. Receiving this information directly in his mind, Chizhao blinked. Huh? My very own Amaterasu? However, this wasn't a permanent item but more like a candle. Each black flame emission would consume part of it. Until completely spent. Even so, it remained an incredibly powerful tool. Satisfied, Chizhao stored the peculiar black rod. They finally reached the staircase. For discretion, Qi recalled old Master Ren and carried Wei Chu himself, planning to use words of power, 0 time to flashback. If others saw Taiting carrying Wei Chu down, explanations would get messy. But then, an obstacle. An invisible membrane blocked Qi descent. Damn it, entry but no exit. Forced to return upstairs. Taiting, you go down. Lao Yu's waiting below. I'll feel better with you there. Nodding, Taiting set Wei Chu down and ascended to the 11th floor. His return elated the criminals. Their backer had returned. Congratulations, boss. Hail the boss. Tiger stepped forward leading the cheers, conquered the 11th, casually took the 12th. Had boss come earlier, you'd have cleared 1 through 10 single-handedly. Ignoring him, Taiting walked toward the neutrals area. Many instinctively retreated at his approach. Seeing Lao Yu safe in the crowd, Taiting stopped. Earlier, Qi said not to rush finding a body here. If anything went wrong preventing train return, they'd have to wait another day. Taiting sighed inwardly. 1 day. Bearable. Qi sat cross-legged, doing nothing. Waiting for automatic train recall when time came. Despite numerous attempts, he couldn't rouse Wei Chu. What kind of wonderful dream has him so engrossed? If this state prevents his recall. No choice. Must wake him somehow. If external stimuli fail, try internal? Qi produced a golden pendant. The nightmare pendant from the 7th grade chest obtained after defeating Inmu in Demon Slayer World. Pure gold, similar size to train coins. Both sides featured exquisitely crafted ghost face reliefs. Male and female. This pendant boosted wearer's spirit and resistance to mental effects. Plus an active skill, Bestow My Dream. When activated on a target, pulls them into wearer's most recent dream. Required storing a new dream after each use. Qi hadn't used it in combat yet. Because activation required target's 3-second focus on the pendant. Impossible mid-battle. But now, with Wei Chu dead to the world, Qi pried open Wei Chu's eyelids to expose them to the pendant. Normally, forced open eyes during sleep can't see. Would this even work? Last resort. The ghost faces flashed red. Skill activation successful. Qi transmitted his stored dream to Wei Chu. What dream was that again? Frowning, Qi couldn't quite recall. Meanwhile, in Wei Chu's dream, he wore a striking red traditional gown, while beside him, Xia Yuan's phoenix dress accentuated her tall, slender figure. They were toasting guests. Thank you all. Thanks for coming. Wei toasts everyone. Chapter 275, I'm not a traitor. Behind Wei Chu stood several oversized display boards. Each one was adorned with wedding photos of him and Xia Yu. Traditional Chinese style, Western style, riding a white horse, playing on the beach. Indeed, today was his wedding day with Xia Yu. Looking at the beautiful yet adorable Xia Yu beside him, Wei Chu felt incomparable pride. After painstaking efforts, he had finally risen to the position of Deputy Chief of Orderly Heaven's Capture Department and successfully won his beloved's heart. Truly a double harvest in both career and love. All the guests present were high-ranking members of Orderly Heaven. At least team leader level or above. Representatives from every department. Currently, Wei Chu was making rounds with Xia Yu, toasting at each table. He downed his glass in one gulp, prompting cheers and applause from the crowd. The groom isn't just handsome, he can hold his liquor too. Indeed, the bride is as beautiful as a celestial maiden descended from heaven. What do you call this? A perfect match made in heaven. Slightly intoxicated, Wei Chu poured another full glass and raised it high. Well said. Let me toast everyone again. Thank you all for taking time from your busy schedules to attend our wedding. Cheers. He drained the glass again and turned it upside down to show not a drop remained. This gesture earned another round of enthusiastic cheers. Xia Yu leaned close and whispered coquettishly in his ear, don't drink too much. Don't forget the important matters later. Wei Chu raised his eyebrows drunkenly and smirked, don't worry, I know my limits. Won't affect tonight's important business. Ah. You're terrible. Blushing, Xia Yu turned away, making Wei Chu laugh even more boisterously. Amid the joyous celebration, several white-robed, hooded figures approached from afar, their faces obscured. Wei Chu frowned. It was Crimson, the organization directly under Paradise's management, responsible for executing Orderly Heaven's traitors. Their signature attire was white robes with large hoods. They earned the name Crimson because while they arrived in white, they always departed drenched in red. Seeing them, Wei Chu's heart skipped a beat. Strange. Why are they here? I didn't invite them. Surely not here to deliver gifts. The 3 Crimson members stopped before Wei Chu. Their appearance silenced the wedding venue. Even the band on stage wisely stopped playing. Wei Chu broke the awkward silence first. Ah. Brothers from Crimson. My apologies for not greeting you properly. Please, have a seat. The trio remained unmoved by his hospitality. The central figure spoke coldly. Wei Chu, Deputy Chief of the Capture Department. Yes, that's me. You've been reported as a spy planted in orderly heaven by Konyu of the Freedom Organization. Our investigation has confirmed this. Will you come voluntarily, or shall we take you? Wei Chu froze momentarily before forcing a laugh. Brothers, this joke isn't funny. You're calling me a traitor? Look around, does anyone here believe that? Confidently spreading his arms, Wei Chu turned. Only to see everyone backing away. Even Xiaoyun beside him covered her mouth in shock, retreating with disbelief written across her face. Wei Chu. A traitor. A member of the Freedom Organization. Crimson never falsely accused anyone. If they said it, they had irrefutable evidence. No. Wanwen, don't listen to them. I'm not. Hey. This joke isn't funny at all. Explain it to everyone. Tell them you're joking. Say it. Instead of explaining, all three Crimson members stepped forward menacingly. This provoked Wei Chu's anger. Damn it. Think you can bully me? Pointing at the trio, he roared, you call me a traitor and I am one? I'm the Deputy Chief of the Capture Department. Who dares touch me? Who can touch me? In unison, the three declared, Traitor Wei Chu resists arrest. Take him down. Red chains shot from beneath their robes, instantly binding Wei Chu. His earlier bravado vanished as he pleaded weakly, Hey brothers, it's my wedding day. Give me some face. Ignoring his pleas, they dragged him away. Hey. Wait. Stop. I haven't even had my wedding night yet. Don't do this to me. Thus, Wei Chu was forcibly taken away. Not a single onlooker stepped forward to help. What Konyu? What freedom organization? I'm not a traitor. I'm not. You've got the wrong person. In the darkness, Chizhao observed Wei Chu's condition under Old Master Ren's laser spotlight. After casting Bestow My Dream on Wei Chu, his smile soon faded. Effective. Soon, Wei Chu's expression turned grim. Brows furrowed, legs twitching, hands grasping at nothing. Clearly having a nightmare now. It's not me. It's not me. Wei Chu suddenly thrashed wildly in the darkness, screaming. Arms flailing, legs kicking. A picture of resistance. Chizhao grinned. Such intense reaction? What's not him? What kind of nightmare is this? As Wei Chu screamed, Chizhao, who had been maintaining fate discernment for surveillance, felt his hairs stand on end. Words of power, 0 time. Activating his ability instantly, he dropped to the ground in 0.01 seconds. Beside him, Old Master Ren, functioning as a lamp post, collapsed backward with a thud, severed at the waist. What was that? A wire? An almost invisible thread moving at incredible speed? With fate discernment's detection range set at 30 meters, Chizhao had sensed the thread. Thinner than a hair's width. The moment it entered this range. But it was impossibly fast and seemingly endless. Dodging sideways was impossible. Pure survival instinct made him drop flat without conscious thought. True enough. Chizhao took 0.01 seconds to drop, while the thread passed overhead 0.1 seconds later. Despite Old Master Ren's alloy armor, it was cleanly bisected. No time to recover. Another thread descended vertically from above. Again? This thread seemed specifically targeting Chizhao. After the first failed attempt, it immediately followed up. But its speed appeared constant. Using his ability, Chizhao rolled sideways to evade. The ground where he'd lain remained undamaged. What kind of attack disappears after missing? No time to ponder. Chizhao quickly donned both the Nightmare Pendant and the Wisdom Goddess Pendant borrowed from Konyu. Both items boosted mental energy and recovery. In gaming terms, increasing mana pool and regeneration rate. Fate discernment. Detection range, 100 meters. Expanding from 30 to 100 meters, Chizhao felt no strain. Immediately, he detected 2 more threads approaching. One horizontal, one vertical, forming a cross. The attacks came rapidly. Less than 2 seconds between each assault. Facing the cross-shaped assault, Chizhao dodged with precise footwork and crouching. He noticed the threads vanished after traveling 50 meters past him. Definitely targeting only me. Chizhao summoned 3 dice from his realm bracelet and rolled them. 3, 6, 5. Total 14. The Crimson Beast materialized. Simultaneously, another cross-shaped thread attack arrived. Chizhao dodged again, but the vertical thread split the Crimson Beast cleanly in half, reverting it to dice form. Terrifying. What could withstand these threads? He'd summoned the beast to test the thread's lethality. A level 14 Crimson Beast surpassed Old Master Ren's armored durability. Yet was effortlessly destroyed. His current physical form would perish instantly upon contact. No more testing. Pure evasion now. Chizhao stored the bisected, uncontrollable old Master Ren. Leaving it out would only invite more damage. With the spotlight gone, darkness enveloped them. Third cross attack incoming. Eyes closed, Chizhao relied solely on fate discernment to perceive the threads. This time, from below, a thread emerged beneath his crotch, shooting upward. Words of power, 0 time. The ascending thread seemed frozen as Chizhao leaped forward like hurtling, barely avoiding it. Landing, he immediately rolled aside to dodge the horizontal follow-up. After 3 cross attacks, silence returned. These attacks specifically target me. Because I entered illegally. Am I being purged as a virus? Will the next attack involve more threads? At this rate, Wei Chu on the ground might get caught in the crossfire. Though I have anchor point rewind to escape, what if anomalies occur after I leave, endangering Lao Yu and others? The anchor's last resort. Can't use it prematurely. Before Chizhao could ponder further, a new assault came. 3 threads this time, from behind, left, and above. As predicted. Increasing in number. Wei Chu still hasn't woken despite this. No choice. Time to reveal ourselves. Taiding. Come up and take Wei Chu down. Through mental link, Taiding received the order and rushed up, carrying the unconscious Wei Chu to the 11th floor. The wanted criminals and orderly heaven members there stared blankly at Taiding's sudden appearance and swift departure with Wei Chu. Taiding remained silent, dumping Wei Chu with Chinzin's group before leaving. The orderly heaven team, who had assumed combat stances, collectively sighed in relief. Losing their strongest fighter, engaging an apparently unharmed quasi-first-class wanted criminal seemed unwise now. Zhao Li quickly examined Wei Chu and shook her head, no visible injuries. Chinzin nodded, as long as he's unharmed. Form defensive positions. Don't give them openings. They circled protectively around Wei Chu and Zhao Li. I'm not a traitor. I'm not. Investigate properly. Don't wrong good comrades. Zhao Li frowned delicately as she tended to him. Brother Chu. Having nightmares? Dreaming he's accused of treason? But why would they return him? Logically shouldn't they? Chinzin, also hearing the delirious mutters, stared intently at Taiding's retreating figure in silence. In the 12th floor's darkness, the threads attacking Chizhao grew more numerous and dense. From 3, they increased to 4, 5, 6. Eventually forming something akin to a net. Dodging became increasingly strenuous. Just as Chizhao considered using anchor point rewind to escape, someone grabbed his wrist. Instantly, he found himself in a luxuriously decorated bedroom. The mysterious vault he'd opened earlier. This time, however, the door was shut. Fate discernment detected no new threads outside or within. Seemed safe now. Adjusting to the bright lights, Chizhao opened his eyes to see his rescuer still gripping his wrist. A girl approximately 1.65 meters tall. Naked, but her flowing purple hair covered key areas. The rest. Flat abdomen, pale neck, slender thighs. Remained exposed. Purple patterns adorned her cheeks. Not tattoos, likely natural. Not just her hair. Eyebrows, eyelashes, eyes, even fingernails and toenails were all purple. Is this human? The train conductor? Or something else? After several seconds of mutual staring, she released his wrist. Human? Purebred human? Circling him curiously, she sniffed. A bit smelly. Definitely pure human. Chizhao. Don't worry, I don't eat humans. You all smell terrible. As if answering his unspoken question, she continued, you entered improperly and were detected. Those ethereal threads eliminate intruders like you. Of course, you're safe here. Consider this a safe room. Chapter 276, You're quite smart for a human. The girl finished speaking, her beautiful purple pupils fixed intently on Chizhao. If you run around outside, you'll get me discovered too. Stay put, human. Chizhao broke out in a cold sweat and spoke directly, you keep calling me human. Aren't you one yourself? Me? The girl pointed at herself and laughed, tilting her head back. How could I be a lowly creature like a human? Look at me. Do I share any similarities with you? She spread her arms openly and spun in a circle before Chizhao. Well? Nothing, right? Yeah, nothing at all. Though Chizhao maintained a relaxed expression as he observed the girl, his mind was on high alert. A strange girl. Strange abilities, strange way of thinking. My name is Wei Chu. What's yours? Me? I didn't call out. Chizhao paused, struck by a sense of déjà vu. Hadn't he seen this somewhere before? I mean, what's your name? Name? The girl shook her head. I don't have one. Only you humans like giving yourselves names. Stay here and don't wander off. I'm going back to sleep. With that, she turned, pulled back the blankets, and flopped onto the bed. Suddenly, she grabbed the blankets she'd just lifted and brought them to her delicate nose, sniffing deeply. Then she turned to look at Chizhou. "You've been in my room, haven't you?" She scrambled up, kneeling on the bed. Reaching out, she seized Chizhou's hand and brought her nose close, sniffing again. "That's definitely the same scent. You even touched my blankets. You perverted human mutt. Looks like I'll have to properly discipline you." Chizhou. The next moment, a violent tremor shook the room. It was as if a giant was outside, pounding furiously on the small house. At the same time, wisps of black mist began seeping through the door crack. The girl's face paled the moment she saw the mist. "Oh no. They can't find you, so they're trying to restart the cycle directly. What? This dungeon is about to reset. Damn it, damn it. I haven't even started working yet." As thick black mist poured in, the bright bedroom began darkening. Even the temperature plummeted rapidly. Dungeon reset? What happens then? Hearing Chizhou's question, the girl counted off on her fingers: become a dungeon guard, or maybe a mirror ghost on the first floor, the Ordens on the second, the blood puppets on the third, the books on the fourth. In short, either die here or become part of this castle. She spoke casually, as if it meant nothing. Wait. Just because I didn't use the front door, they're making this much fuss? Then why wasn't I discovered until now after being here so long? No, it can't be because of me. The most likely culprit is her. Chizhou fixed his gaze on the girl before him. Judging by her earlier words, she was intimately familiar with every floor of this castle. With that level of familiarity and her attitude toward humans. Just what was her deal? Some kind of interdimensional creature like an elf or succubus acting as the train conductor? Wait. Lao Yu and the others are still downstairs. Chizhou immediately reached out to Tiding through their soul connection. Tiding, is anything unusual happening on your end? The castle's about to reset. Be careful. The moment Chizhou finished warning Tiding, the latter saw massive amounts of black mist pouring down the spiral staircase from the 12th floor. The mist saturated the staircase, encasing it in a black pillar that continued expanding outward. Tiding immediately grabbed Lao Yu and retreated. Seeing the danger, the others quickly followed, putting distance between themselves and the encroaching mist. Meanwhile, within the mist-shrouded garden, the roses came alive, writhing viciously like frenzied snakes. The pure white doves turned ink black, their wings dripping a thick, oil-like substance. The kindly priest seemed to transform as well. Removing his thick reading glasses, he murmured, "Indeed, naughty children who don't properly repent must face our Lord's judgment." As he spoke, crimson flames erupted across his body. The fire burned away his white vestments, revealing the blackened skeleton beneath. His formerly benevolent expression twisted into something horrifying in the firelight. Finally, even his head was reduced to a skull within the flames. Above his head materialized a shattered papal tiara, while a black and red trench coat appeared on his skeletal frame. Everyone who witnessed this transformation was gripped by terror. Holy shit! The old man just entered phase 2. Tiger bellowed. "Address me as the Holy Flame Archbishop." A blazing fire of repentance hurtled toward Tiger, accompanied by globs of black oil launched by the tainted doves. Instantly, the entire 11th floor became a sea of brambles and flames. Learning of this through their soul link, Chizhou's brow furrowed deeply. According to intel he'd previously obtained, after being transported to the Dark Castle, when the earliest departure time arrived, they'd receive a prompt about returning to the train. If they didn't choose to return, they'd be forcibly pulled back when the latest departure time came. Because of his engine modifications, Chizhou's earliest departure was at 10:50. He checked his watch. 10:30 now. 20 minutes until earliest recall. Could Lao Yu and the others hold out that long? Faced with this unforeseen development, Chizhou grew anxious. Since his first day in this world, he'd always had station announcements forewarning him. He'd grown accustomed to gathering intel before exploring. Though I have an anchor point and can escape anytime, Lao Yu and the others are still down there. We have to last until the train departs and automatically recalls us. As Chizhou pondered escape routes from this floor, the girl suddenly spoke up. "Hey, human. Want to get out of here?" "What about it?" Chizhou replied impassively. "I know you can't leave this floor, and this room won't hold much longer. Once it breaks, you won't survive the mist threads out there. Get to the point." The girl grinned slyly. "I can get you off this floor. With your skills, the lower floors won't be a problem for you. You're being this helpful? Name your price. You're quite smart for a human. I like dealing with smart humans." Chapter 277, Dungeon Reset? The girl showed an appreciative expression upon hearing Chizhou's words. "I know you'll be summoned back by the train soon. Once you're gone, this place will be empty. The dungeon will completely reset. So, you don't want this place to reset entirely?" "Exactly. I need you to help delay the dungeon's reset speed. As long as at least one person remains here, the dungeon won't fully reset. So when the train summons you back, you can't leave. Promise me this, and I'll help you escape the 12th floor. Make your choice quickly. The room is about to collapse. The mist threads are coming. The girl looked at Chi Zhao triumphantly, certain he had no choice but to agree. Oh. His indifferent response visibly annoyed her. What do you mean? Aren't you afraid of death? You can't defend against so many mist threads. Who said I'm defending? I'll just run away. Run away? Don't boast. How could you escape? You can't even leave this floor, let alone the entire castle. What's the connection between leaving this floor and escaping the castle? Well, none. Then it's settled. The girl studied Chi Zhao suspiciously, searching his eyes for clues. Humphrey, I see. You're lying to me. I don't believe you have any means to leave this castle. Seeming to realize something, she puffed up proudly. If you did, you'd have escaped long ago. Just watch me. Chi Zhao smiled faintly without arguing back. The room trembled violently as black mist rose to his navel, yet his face showed no panic nor fear in his eyes. Seeing his confident expression, the girl grew uneasy. This won't do. What if he really escapes? I need to fully corrupt this room before the castle resets. Then I can come and go freely, slowly eroding other areas. But if the dungeon resets now, all my efforts will be wasted. Those useless humans downstairs clearly can't hold out. No, I need him. Hey, aren't there companions of yours downstairs? Aren't you going to save them? Nope. Chi Zhao replied nonchalantly. The girl. But don't you humans value mutual aid and unity? Not my thing. The girl. The room teetered on collapse, black mist now reaching Chi Zhao's neck. The girl couldn't wait any longer. You're quite an interesting human. Fine, I'll believe you. Speak. What do you want? Now that's the right attitude. Chi Zhao nodded approvingly. What can you offer me? The girl immediately opened her mouth and spat out a treasure chest and a key. A tier 7 treasure chest and tier 7 key. I'll give you the key first. If you succeed in delaying, I'll give you the chest. Chi Zhao took the key and stored it in his realm bracelet. What if you go back on your word? Only humans break promises. Chi Zhao smiled without rebuttal. Then the girl spat out a pool of purple liquid that corroded the floor beneath him. Soon, a half-meter wide circular portal glowing with violet light appeared. Jump now. I can't maintain this long. Having anchor point rewind as insurance, Chi Zhao immediately leaped through. This was indeed his only current chance to escape this floor. Even if it were a trap, he'd take the risk. Remember, the more people die, the faster the dungeon resets. If possible, try to save as many as you can. The girl's voice echoed from above before the portal snapped shut. With a thud, Chi Zhao landed steadily on a massive, blood-stained chopping block. This is the flesh kitchen? The portal directly transported him to the second floor. The slumbering stitched butcher in the corner awoke to the noise, but by the time he came over cursing, Chi Zhao had already vanished. Save more people? I already have people to protect. No need for you to remind me. Come to think of it, who is she really? What's her true motive for helping me? Dungeon reset. She doesn't want it to reset. Dismissing these thoughts, Chi Zhao activated words of power, time 0 and sprinted upward. Whatever. Priority is returning to the 11th floor. He continuously communicated with Taideng to monitor the 11th floor's situation until reaching the 9th floor, where he saw black mist creeping down the stairs from the 10th. It's already reached here? Faster than expected. According to Taideng, monsters shrouded in the mist undergo changes. That means the 10th floor must be even more dangerous now. The 11th floor was now completely engulfed in black mist. Many had already perished to the combined attacks of the Holy Flame Archbishop's fire and the Tainted Dove's oil barrage. The doves flapped their wings, spraying viscous black oil that clung stubbornly and ignited instantly upon contact with flames, burning relentlessly. The rose vines, meanwhile, seemed invigorated by fire. Their movements accelerated within the inferno. The group fought while retreating, but the descending staircase was thoroughly blocked by vines. Those who attempted to force their way through were drained into desiccated husks, leaving only skeletons behind. Taideng's chains effortlessly pierced through the Holy Flame Archbishop's head. The priest-turned-archbishop remained intangible yet could endlessly fire fireballs and occasionally unleash extended flame jets. Unable to eliminate the archbishop, Taideng switched targets to his supporting cast. The Tainted Doves. With a wave of his right hand, 10 chains shot out, precisely exploding 10 doves. Though the order members had firearms, the dense mist rendered them blind to the doves' locations, making shooting impossible. Thus, dove extermination fell entirely to Taideng. Yet the pigeons seemed endless. Despite his rapid strikes, Their numbers appeared undiminished. Meanwhile, the fallen dove corpses nourished the rose vines, fueling their growth. Chizhao fought his way to the spiral staircase connecting the 10th and 11th floors, only to find it clogged with squirming vines. From a distance, they resembled clusters of thorny gray-green vipers coiled together. Without hesitation, Chizhao retrieved 5 silver discs resembling robotic vacuums. The suicide walking mines confiscated from Huang Luhong. These very weapons had served Lao Yu well during the train defense. Activating all 5 mines, he hurled them into the vine mass. A series of explosions later, a gaping hole appeared in the blockage. Truly, the pinnacle of human technology never disappoints. Before the vines could close the gap, Chizhao activated his words of power and dashed through, returning to the 11th floor at last. While the black mist obscured most people's vision, Chizhao remained completely unaffected. Chapter 278, Delaying Tactics. He kept his fate perception active at all times, maintaining complete awareness of everything within a 100-meter radius around himself. Fate perception, activate again. Range expanded to 300 meters. 500 meters. Maintaining it for just 2 breaths, Chizhao quickly mapped out the entire battlefield in his mind. Almost everyone had gathered together without scattering. The remaining survivors numbered 61. At the forefront stood Taiding, Lao Yu, Chinzin, Tiger, and a few others. At this moment, there were no wanted criminals, no orderly heaven. Everyone stood tightly together, jointly resisting the priest, the black pigeons, and the vines. They still needed to descend to floors not yet shrouded in black mist. That woman had said. The more people died, the faster the instance would reset. Naturally, the more survivors, the better. Chizhao drew his ZZ pistol and swiftly joined the battle. Bang! 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 Flaming rounds accurately struck the oil-black pigeons in the darkness, setting them ablaze. Taideng's pressure immediately lessened. At the same time, Chizhao also learned from Taideng that the priest had transformed into a fiery entity, still without a solid form. After eliminating some of the oil-black pigeons, Chizhao immediately switched to spirit-banishing rounds. White beams of light poured onto the priest like rain. Effective, but not very. In short, it dealt damage, but not much. The ZZ pistol's weakness had actually been apparent back in Ghost Town. Though it could unlock various bullet types for versatility, and allowed switching ammunition mid-fight without overheating like conventional firearms, it was, after all, just a pistol. The damage was simply too low. Against weaker spirits, it had been passable. But against these powerful entities, it felt like tickling them. No wonder Kong Yu had rejected it back then. She probably didn't even consider it worth a glance. Just then, Lao Yu's voice rang out beside Chizhao. Captain, I'm here. While Chizhao had drawn most of the Holy Flame Archbishop's attention, Lao Yu charged from the flank. Holding his Sand King spear, he unleashed a torrent of bullets at the fiery priest. Earlier, with too many oil-black pigeons, obstructing vines, and the black mist impairing visibility, Lao Yu hadn't found a good opening to strike. But when Chizhao arrived, his white beams gave Lao Yu a clear target. ZZZZT. 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 Orange-yellow muzzle flashes erupted from Lao Yu's gun as bullets poured out like they cost nothing. His weapon dealt far more damage than Chizhao's ZZ pistol. After all, it was a submachine gun. The Holy Flame Archbishop sensed danger. Under concentrated fire, his form began to destabilize. He immediately started shifting positions instead of standing still. Unfortunately, his own flames became a beacon. No matter where he moved, Chizhao and Lao Yu kept hitting him. Finally, under their combined assault, he was blasted into glowing particles that scattered like dust. Next, Chizhao turned to the vines. Not afraid of fire, huh? Then try some mines. He kept pulling out suicide walking mines, tossing them in like they were free. Without caring how much damage they'd actually do. Just blow them up. Again and again. Chizhao stood at the front like a war god. Those behind only knew that no more flames shot at them, no more black oil splashed their way, and no more vines slithered through. In the darkness, it seemed a guardian deity protected them. After clearing about 80% of the vines, Chizhao drew his niche iron blade. Ho! 11. The air he inhaled through his lips faintly tinged red. Flame breathing. 8th form. Blazing wind charge. Holding the fiery red niche iron blade, he dashed at high speed straight for the staircase to the 10th floor. Behind him, a long trail of swirling flames formed. This brilliant blaze was the bright path Chizhao carved through the darkness for everyone. The flames dispelled the blackness, revealing the descending stairs. The obstructing vines had all been cleared by Chizhao. With his command, "Go!" they finally snapped to action and followed. The black mist slithered downward like a living serpent, spreading horizontally with each floor. Once a floor was fully shrouded, it would seep to the next. Only now did they understand why this place was called the Dark Castle. When Chizhao first arrived, the mist had only reached the 9th floor. In this short time, it had already spread to the 6th. And every monster touched by the mist transformed. Growing frenzied, bloodthirsty, and evil. Led by Chizhao, the group fought their way down to the 3rd floor. The 4th floor library couldn't be disturbed. Disrupting the books would trigger the rules, turning people into books. From this floor onward, they had to find a way to block the stairs. These stairs were incredibly sturdy. Even suicide mines couldn't destroy them. Likely protected by rules against damage. What could they use to barricade the path? Chizhao stared at the pool of blood, deep in thought. Blood. He switched his ZZ pistol to frost rounds and fired into the pool. The surface froze. It worked. Frost bullets could freeze it. If they could move the water up, they could form an ice wall. Realizing this, Chizhao turned to the group behind him. Everyone. This castle is resetting. It's trying to wipe us all out. You've seen it yourselves. Monsters touched by the mist become aggressive. Pointing at the staircase, he declared, so we must block this path and stop the mist from seeping down. That blood pool is full of bloodthirsty blood puppets. And you've all witnessed the horrors above. You're all trained captains. No more holding back. I can freeze the water. Who can redirect this blood upward to form an ice wall and seal the stairs? Only then did they grasp the situation. A plump man stepped forward from the crowd. Me. I can. He bent over and plunged his entire head into the blood pool. Gulp. 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 He drank voraciously as his belly visibly swelled. Chizhao nodded and vanished on the spot. He descended to the 2nd floor. The flesh kitchen. 3 slashes later, the napping stitched butcher was dead. Chizhao would use it to block the stairs. Mainly to prevent it from being corrupted by the mist and becoming harder to kill. When he returned to the 3rd floor and pulled the stitched butcher's massive corpse from his realm bracelet to barricade the staircase, everyone gasped. Damn. This was the definition of hiding one's strength until the critical moment. Chapter 279, Not of our kind. At first, everyone thought the strongest person here was that quasi-level 1 wanted criminal wearing the plague doctor mask. But now it seemed this ordinary-looking young man was actually the strongest. Ready yet? Hearing Chizhao's call, the fat man who had been gulping down blood water raised his head and let out a burp. His belly was now swollen like an overinflated balloon. Coming. He struggled to stand up and walked toward the stairs. Then, following Chizhao's instructions, he spat the blood water onto the butcher's body. Combined with Chizhao's frost bullets, they began constructing a wall of frozen flesh and blood. Seeing this, the others quickly joined in. Some used their hands to scoop, others held it in their mouths, while some soaked their clothes and wrung them out. They employed every means possible. It was truly a united effort. Finally, after everyone's hard work, a blood-red ice wall trapping the stitched butcher was completed. At that moment, the black mist began creeping in. Tendrils of black mist squeezed through the cracks in the flesh and ice wall. Clearly, the wall couldn't completely block the mist, but it could significantly slow its advance. Chizhao frowned. They couldn't stay here. They needed to keep moving downward. The group followed Chizhao to the 2nd floor, where he directly used his realm bracelet to move the massive chopping block to block the stairway. Seeing this, the others also started barricading the stairs with items from this floor. After thoroughly sealing this level, they continued downward. They couldn't break the mirrors on the 1st floor, or they'd release the mirror ghosts inside. So instead of blocking the stairs here, they went further down to where they'd started. The basement dungeon. Though equally dark, this area wasn't yet engulfed by the black mist. Moreover, all the dungeon guards had been killed and showed no signs of reviving. Compared to elsewhere, this place felt strangely safe. Chizhao glanced at his watch. 3 minutes until 10:50. At that time, Lao Yu and the others could return to the train first. The thought relaxed him slightly. Back in relative safety, the group instinctively split into 3 factions again. Orderly Heaven, the wanted criminals, and the neutrals. Just like at the beginning. Humans had always been this way. Once external threats faded, internal conflicts emerged. Tiger immediately pointed at the Orderly Heaven members and the unconscious Hueco on the ground. This place was fine. Why did it suddenly reset? It must be this kid's doing. He's still unconscious. Who knows what he did on the 12th floor? Look at him. Shifty-eyed, clearly untrustworthy. Not like me. Full of righteous aura. Orderly Heaven fired back. Dark Castle is a looping world. Resets are normal. We just happened to encounter one. Don't make baseless accusations. Stop judging people by appearances. Maybe the problem is you. Damn right I'm judging you. Fuck. Come at me then. See if our boss doesn't wreck you. The verbal battle between Orderly Heaven and the criminals reignited, though still limited to shouting. As long as they didn't resort to violence, Qizhao couldn't be bothered to intervene. Let them exhaust themselves arguing. Lao Yu, remember to accept the train's recall message when it comes. Tiding, you too. Qizhao mentally communicated with Tiding. Understood, Tiding replied mentally. Speaking of which, why hasn't he woken up yet? Qizhao looked helplessly at Wei Chu, still protected at the center of the Orderly Heaven group. They'd carried him all the way down from the 11th floor. In this state, could he even return at 11 o'clock? Shaking his head, Qizhao approached the Orderly Heaven faction. They showed no alarm at his approach. Let me try. After a few seconds' hesitation, Qinzin stepped aside with a gesture of invitation. Your assistance would be appreciated. Qizhao nodded and crouched beside Wei Chu. Leaning close to Wei Chu's ear, he whispered, Xia Yuan got married. The groom isn't you. Impossible. Wei Chu's eyes flew open as he jerked upright, shouting hoarsely. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Qinzin stared in shock. It actually worked? They tried multiple methods without success earlier. What had he said to wake him so instantly? Hearing Wei Chu's voice, the other Orderly Heaven members turned in unison. He's really awake. Zhao Li gave Qizhao a thumbs up, miracle doctor. Bringing the dying back to life. Qi. Seeing Qizhao's meaningful look, Wei Chu immediately realized the deception. He slapped his thigh in frustration, damn it. The crowd. Fill him in on the situation, Qizhao said before leaving the Orderly Heaven group. At exactly 10:50, Lao Yu and Tiding vanished in flashes of white light. Simultaneously, the train's announcement echoed in Qizhao's mind, train ready for departure. Return now. Qizhao naturally refused. He planned to stay and uncover that woman's schemes. With his anchor point rewind, he could escape any time. As long as the black mist hadn't completely overtaken this place, he'd be fine. Besides Lao Yu and Tiding, 7 or 8 others also disappeared in white light. With Tiding gone, Tiger visibly deflated. Wei Chu's awakening also silenced the criminals' taunts. The dungeon grew significantly quieter. At 11 o'clock sharp, the remaining people all departed. Wei Chu gave Qizhao a final nod before leaving. With the drastic reduction in people, the black mist's spread accelerated dramatically. Qizhao kept fate discernment active, monitoring the mist's progress. If I insist on staying, the best I might gain is a level 7 treasure chest. But the risks are considerable. Besides, if she succeeds in whatever she's doing, she might not honor her promise to give me the chest. Come to think of it. Who is she really? What does she want? Is she even human? No, probably not. She merely wears a human form. Her words drip with disdain for humanity. Not of our kind, their hearts must differ. For some reason, this ancient saying surfaced in Qizhao's mind. Just then, the black mist silently flooded the dungeon, advancing toward Qizhao. Like a ravenous beast, it gaped its maw to devour Qizhao cowering in the corner. But as it was about to engulf him, Qizhao vanished into thin air. The mist closed on empty space. Meanwhile, on Dark Castle's 12th floor, the nearly collapsed secret vault was now encased in dark violet light. The girl used her own methods to steadily corrode the bedroom. Taking longer than expected. Just eroding this small area required so much time. Completely consuming this castle would undoubtedly demand considerable effort. Chapter 280, the 5th skill. But all of this was worth it. A looping world is naturally difficult to corrupt. Just a little bit left, push a bit harder. Once this room is corrupted, I'll be able to come and go freely here. Then I can take my time corrupting this entire castle, it will be mine. A place that automatically replenishes monsters with rule-based traps on every floor is perfect for hunting humans. Speaking of which, that human isn't bad, lasting this long. Good, just hold on a little longer and I'll succeed. Want a level 7 treasure chest? Humphrey. Human greed only invites disaster. I'll kill him immediately when the time comes. No human who's seen me can leave alive. Just as the girl was filled with joy and confidence in her imminent success. The next moment, something unexpected happened. As Qizhao, the last remaining human, departed, the Dark Castle completed its final reset. The infiltrating girl was mercilessly ejected by the rules. Floating in the void, the girl remained frozen in her casting pose, completely bewildered. F failed? How is this possible? That human actually fled at the last moment. Did he really just give up on a level 7 treasure chest? Or did he fail to hold on and die down there? The girl gnashed her teeth in anger, her face twisting with fury. Damn it. Damn it. Just one more corner. Just one more corner and it would have worked. Damn. I shouldn't have gone to that gathering. I should have stayed here and focused on corrupting that treasury. It's all White Eye's fault. The girl looked down at the Dark Castle, now collapsed into a black dot. If she wanted to enter again, it would take at least a month to reopen a small path. So annoying. So damn annoying. In the void, the girl silently raged, flailing her limbs in frustration. Wait, this scent. She suddenly turned her head, her delicate nose twitching. Sniff. Sniff. Him? That familiar scent, it's that cunning human. He didn't die inside. Humans really can't be trusted. He did run away after all. Cunning human, don't think you can escape. The girl immediately changed direction and flew to the left. Soon, a red train came into view. Humphrey, found you. Even if I can't enter or damage your train, I can follow you and intercept you at your next stop. Just you wait. As long as that world isn't a looping one and the danger level isn't too high, I can quickly open a breach. Then let's see how you escape. Why is it turning? The girl hurriedly adjusted her course to follow. Just as she was about to catch up, the train suddenly changed direction again in the void. Another turn? What's wrong with this train? Sighing, the girl maneuvered around obstructing worlds to keep up. Another turn. This damn train is insane. Inside the train, Chizhao was reviewing the 6 newly refreshed stations one by one. Blood Moon Botanical Garden, Silent Amusement Park, Mirror Hospital, Eternal Winter Cold Storage, Memory Recycling Station, Reverse Clock Factory. The lowest danger level was 7. There was even 1 level 10 danger and 2 level 9s. What's going on? Why are they all so dangerous? Chizhao frowned, unable to comprehend. After experiencing the level 8 danger of the Dark Castle, Chizhao learned a lesson. You can't rely too much on current station previews and collected intelligence. Because there are always too many unexpected variables during travels. Like that purple-haired girl today. Also, you shouldn't just focus on accumulating travel experience by recklessly choosing overly dangerous stations. Don't bite off more than you can chew, take things one step at a time. Well, no need to rush choosing a station. First, let's check out my 5th skill. Chizhao took out a green skill card from his realm bracelet. It was the one obtained from the level 7 treasure chest in the Dark Castle. Detected skill card, Flourishing Life. Activate. Yes or no, Flourishing Life? Plus the card is green, this must be a recovery or healing skill. Great, a healing skill is exactly what I need. Might even save me some basic healing potions in the future. For minor injuries, I can just heal myself. Chizhao immediately raised his hand and tapped Jet on the light screen. The next moment, the green card in his hand transformed into a stream of light that flowed into his body. You have learned the skill, Flourishing Life. You can shorten plant growth cycles. However, plants still require sufficient nutrients, water and sunlight, Chizhao. What? Not a healing skill? Shorten plant growth cycles? But they still need all their requirements met? A skill to force growth? So it makes plants flourish? Chizhao rubbed his chin. Meaning if fertilizer, water and sunlight are provided, I can make a seed sprout, flower and fruit immediately. This skill isn't bad either. Specialized for farming, or could be used with plant-based items. Thinking this, Chizhao immediately went to the greenhouse. Time for an experiment. Wine pouch flower, grow. Flourishing Life. Green light emanated from Chizhao's palm, shining on the wine pouch flower in the pot. The sprout visibly grew before their eyes. First the roots rapidly branched out, becoming more numerous, thicker and longer. After root growth completed, the sprout above began growing too. Simultaneously, the wine soil in the pot quickly dried out. Seeing this, Laoyu hurriedly poured in more wine. Thus, with one person accelerating growth and another supplying wine, plus the ever-bright night light hanging above the flower. With light, nutrients and water all provided, the wine pouch flower grew rapidly. The floor was littered with empty liquor bottles. Laoyu had poured in over 50. Chizhao waved his hand to signal they could stop. His mental energy was running out. This Flourishing Life really consumes a lot of spiritual power. Even with Chizhao wearing both the Wisdom Goddess pendant and Nightmare pendant for dual recovery, he still felt unusually fatigued. Probably because the wine pouch flower isn't an ordinary plant. Now the flower stood 30 centimeters tall. Its emerald leaves spread out, with 3 differently colored flower buds at the top. Though not yet bloomed, strange wine-like fragrances already wafted from them. Alright, that's enough for now. Probably one more session and it'll bloom. Chizhao exhaled deeply and stopped the skill. Next, he went to the planting carriage and found a thumb-sized cucumber on a vine, using Flourishing Life on it. Under the green light, the cucumber reached full size in just 1 minute. Chizhao plucked it, wiped it casually on his clothes, and broke off half for Laoyu. Try it, see how forced ripening affects the taste. Laoyu took a bite, crunch. Juice sprayed out. Sweet. Chizhao nodded satisfied. The mental energy consumed ripening the cucumber was minimal. So it really was because the Huang pouch flower isn't ordinary. If just forcing that flower took so much effort, how long would the peach tree of immortality take? Qizhao pondered while chewing his half of cucumber. He wasn't planning to try now. If he did, it would have to wait until the 6th batch of newcomers finished their starter phase. After finishing the cucumber, Qizhao summoned the light screen. Grandparent had been split in half, needed to find a way to fix him. Rubbing his chin, he contacted an orderly heaven agent to inquire about zombie repair methods. Simultaneously, he searched the trading center for suitable items. It wasn't just about reattaching Grandparent's two halves, many of his modifications like wiring, energy channels and cooling systems were damaged too. All needed major repairs, maybe even complete reworks. The biggest issue was the energy core, probably needed replacement. At least the upper body still worked. Hopefully the legs will function normally after reattachment. Sigh, Grandparent had the worst luck this trip. Persistence paid off. Qizhao actually found someone. This person called himself a corpse stitcher, specializing in stitching together zombies, undead or regular corpses. Finally, Qizhao paid 15 train coins for the corpse stitcher to reconnect Grandparent's halves. A white flash later, Qizhao received the stitched Grandparent via trade. Not just good as new, practically factory fresh. Not even a scar at the reconnection point. This guy clearly had some corpse-specific repair skill. Good, still controllable. No major issues. Mobility seems unchanged. Later, Qizhao messaged Tsai. He asked her to visit Pioneer City later and find Victor to upgrade Grandparent again. Qizhao listed numerous specific upgrade requests. Tsai's reply was brief, send money. Qizhao transferred 60 train coins immediately. These came from this morning's station reward. Today's lucky dice only rolled a 2. Extra is your service fee. Damn, boss is generous. You must be making big money out there. Of course. Let me know if it's not enough, no cutting corners. Mission guaranteed. With that, Tsai accepted the transferred Grandparent and coins. Only after resolving this did Qizhao truly relax. Lao Yu, cook. I'm hungry. The large dining table held 3 dishes and a soup. Spicy and sour baby cabbage, 2-color chili steamed fish head, dry pot cauliflower, and pork meatball soup with pork bones. Tiding stood nearby, watching Qizhao and Lao Yu devour the food expressionlessly. For him, this lavish spread was purely visual. He couldn't smell or taste any of it. Qizhao seemed to notice his thoughts and patted his shoulder. Tiding, want to try some? Yes. Qizhao nodded, then took a corpse from his realm bracelet. Here. Human, male, looks reasonably healthy. Give it a try. Tiding paused. He recognized this corpse from when the castle was in chaos, everyone rushing downward. This man had been caught by a monster on the 9th floor and strangled to death. He turned to Qizhao. When had he retrieved the body? He hadn't noticed at all. What, not to your taste? No problem, I'll put it away. No. Then. Try it? I stored him right after death, my storage stops time. See, still warm. Tiding. Thank you. Tiding looked at the corpse silently for a moment before saying, I'll have it while it's fresh. Sure. Ah, wait. I remember you said you only get one chance to leave your current body and possess a human, right? Correct. Qizhao nodded, appearing thoughtful. Since it's such a precious opportunity, shouldn't we wait for a better one? Stronger, more handsome, more beautiful, younger. This was just something I grabbed in haste. Look at that belly. I know it's beneath you, no need to settle. Of course, just a suggestion. Your choice. Qizhao gestured toward the corpse. Tiding silently walked over and stared down at it for a while before saying, You're right. I've waited 4 years, no need to rush now. Turning back to Qizhao, I'll wait longer. Smart man. Qizhao grinned and gave a thumbs up. Then he stored the corpse and resumed eating. I remember this guy was with the wanted criminals earlier, I'll send him to the agents later, see if there's a bounty. After lunch, Lao Yu loaded the dishwasher. Ever since Qizhao modified it, Lao Yu no longer needed to wash dishes by hand. Qizhao checked his accumulated travel experience. Despite only staying about 3 hours, he gained a whopping 59% experience. Mainly because he and Tiding cleared all 11 floors of the Dark Castle. That's why the increase was so large. Others would be lucky to get 5%. The way to clear the 11th floor was sincere repentance. Extremely difficult, Qizhao basically exploited Tiding as a loophole. There was another way to reach the 12th floor, no repentance needed, just wait half an hour and buy an indulgence. But that only got you to the 12th floor, not counted as clearing it. Either way, reaching the 12th floor made you fall asleep into an incomparably wonderful dream. Qizhao compiled this information and had Zai report it. Verified station intel earn merit rewards. That strange girl too. After some thought, Chizhou included her in the report. Though with slightly modified details. With that done, Chizhou reopened multi-choice to confirm tomorrow's station. Originally he planned to visit the level 7 Eternal Winter Cold Storage, but after getting Flourishing Life, he reconsidered. Ah, fortune truly favors the bold. Level 9 Danger, Blood Moon Botanical Garden, here I come. Next station, Blood Moon Botanical Garden, Solo Station. This garden contains special and bizarre plants. Any creature entering will be attacked by the bizarre plants. During the Blood Moon, bizarre plants can break restrictions and move freely. Danger level 9. In the greenhouse core area, you can obtain photosynthesis serum. Injection provides 12 hours of camouflage, making you appear as a plant to avoid attacks. Special plant catalog, click for details. Bizarre plant catalog, click for details. Chapter 281, Purchasing the Intelligence Lock. Although there were no treasure chests at this stop, the reason was none other than those special plants. Chizhou had briefly glanced through the catalog earlier. Many of the special plants had beneficial effects on humans. Some could heal injuries, prolong life, or enhance beauty. Others possessed special effects and abilities, functioning like consumable items. After selecting the station to dock at, Chizhou immediately took Lao Yu to the first initial carriage and began their search, with one calling out names and the other checking. First and foremost was the most crucial item, the photosynthesis serum. Lao Yu, open the trading platform. Search for photosynthesis serum. Report, Captain. Non-available. TCH. The most critical item, and it's not for sale? There are photosynthesis capsules, photosynthesis machine guns, photosynthesis armor, but no photosynthesis serum. Fine, next one. Chizhou proceeded to list the names of the plants recorded in the special plant catalog, while Lao Yu searched the trading platform. Mundo Healing Orchid. Semi-transparent petals with condensed blood Mundo drops. Ingested, it reduces inflammation. Applied topically, it stops bleeding. Available. Single plant priced at 25 train coins. 5 milliliters of blood Mundo priced at 1 train coin. Longevity moss. Blue-black moss that grows on dried bones. When dried and burned, it extends lifespan. Non-available. Pain-numbing mint. Chewing the leaves blocks pain and grants berserk combat power, but the pain doubles afterward. Available, 5 train coins per leaf. Beauty flower. A blue-purple blossom that emits starlight at night. Crushed petals applied to the face remove acne, spots, and reduce wrinkles. Available, 1 train coin per petal. Blood-packed orange. People who eat the same blood-packed orange simultaneously can form a 1-hour damage sharing contract. Non-available. Redemption mandrake. A human-shaped root that emits sobbing sounds. Eaten raw, it removes all mental contamination. Available, requires item exchange. Last words ephemeral flower. A white bloom that only grows on corpses. Allows the deceased to speak their final words. Non-available. Thunder durian. After eating, all body hair stands on end, and fingertips can release lightning chains. Available. 15 train coins per fruit. The seller says it's about to rot, so they can knock off 1 train coin. They checked all 52 special plants in total. But less than half were available for sale or exchange. The other half couldn't be found. Of course, those were the ones with the most overpowered effects. Somehow, Chizhou suddenly missed Zai. She used to handle all this work. Chizhou only needed to review the final summary. Now, he had to do the searching himself. Since these special plants were available on the trading platform, it meant they could likely be mass exported. This felt like a goldmine. Even if mass export wasn't possible, once he docked at the Blood Moon Botanical Garden, he could just park indefinitely and harvest on the spot for immediate sale. Direct sourcing. Who could compete with that? After selling out, he could use Vitality Surge to regrow them and sell again. Even if they exceeded the quantity limit and disappeared later, as long as he'd already sold them, it wouldn't be his problem if buyers didn't use them in time, right? A closed-loop business chain was forming. Chizhou's eyes had already turned into the shapes of train coins and items. He couldn't just focus on the special plants. The dangerous plants needed attention too. Chizhou sent both catalogs to Zai. After receiving them, Lao Yu studied them carefully. Crimson Strangler Vine. A python-like vine with serrated edges that strangles prey and injects digestive fluids through wounds. Illusion Fly Trap. A mushroom cap that projects human face illusions, staring at it for over 3 seconds drags victims underground via its roots. Bone-eating dandelion. Scatters glowing green seeds that attach to skin and burrow into bones to grow. Screaming datura. When its buds burst, they emit deafening shrieks that rupture the internal organs of nearby creatures. Similarly, The 52 dangerous plants made Chijiao's scalp tingle. Level 9 hazard wasn't just empty words. But he still dared to choose this station, relying on two advantages: play the newbie card. As long as he stayed quietly in the train and avoided other captains, there wouldn't be much trouble. Worst case, he just wouldn't go out. A wasted stop, no big deal. The photosynthesis serum. If he could find and inject the so-called photosynthesis serum, he'd gain 12 hours of invincibility where the dangerous plants wouldn't attack him. Even so, the Blood Moon Botanical Garden was still perilous. Because when docking, he wouldn't know if it was currently in a blood moon state. And he had no idea where the greenhouse containing the photosynthesis serum was located. But there was no choice. Fortune favored the bold. High risk, high reward. Orderly Heaven's detailed intel on the Blood Moon Botanical Garden cost a whopping 50 train coins. This intel had three main sections: a general layout map of the Blood Moon Botanical Garden, a catalog of special plants and their harvesting methods, the traits of dangerous plants and how to counter them. Reading the table of contents, Chijiao realized that some special plants couldn't just be picked at will. If harvested incorrectly, the consequences ranged from failure to unpredictable harm to the harvester. Similarly, while dangerous plants were formidable, knowing their weaknesses made them easy to handle. This was the value of intel. Yet none of this was mentioned in the station preview. No warnings given. Was it because his rank was still too low? The intel provided wasn't comprehensive. If he maxed out his rank, would he get complete information? Though it pained him, Chijiao spent the 50 train coins for the detailed intel. He had no choice. A flash of white light later, Chijiao obtained the intelligence lock and opened it with Orderly Heaven's specialized key. But after reading it, he was sorely disappointed. This so-called detailed intel only covered about half of the special plants' harvesting methods. As for the dangerous plants, the countermeasures were limited to just 1/3. Turns out his station preview wasn't entirely useless. At least it listed all types of special and dangerous plants. Sigh. He'd just have to play it safe when the time came. No rushing. The most useful part of the intel was undoubtedly the layout map. The botanical garden was divided into 5 major zones, each with slightly different special and dangerous plants. Each zone had a greenhouse, and their locations were clearly marked. Great. With this map, he'd save a lot of effort later. Now, only one question remained: would the blood moon be active when the train docked tomorrow? Well, he had to prepare for the worst. Assume it would be a blood moon. During a blood moon, dangerous plants could break free from restrictions and move freely. At that point, they weren't plants. They were animals. That was when the true level 9 danger emerged. Unfortunately, no one on the trading platform was selling the photosynthesis serum. Orderly Heaven didn't have it either. Over on Utopia's bounty board, someone had inquired, but there were no replies. This meant if he couldn't obtain the photosynthesis serum before the train docked tomorrow morning, his only option would be to find the greenhouse. Chapter 282, Plan C. The train has arrived. Please remain seated and hold on tight. The announcement echoed through the train as the scenery outside the window abruptly changed. The endless darkness seemed to be devoured by a mysterious and powerful force, gradually transforming into a blood-red hue that sent chills down one's spine. Looking up, an enormous crimson moon hung ominously in the sky, resembling a terrifying, bloodshot eye gazing coldly upon the world. The entire world appeared to be bathed in this eerie red glow, as if submerged in a sea of blood. Mountains, rivers, plants, and animals. Everything was immersed under this scarlet backdrop. Even the once fresh and pleasant air was now filled with faint red mist. The mist drifted like ghosts, sometimes gathering into clusters, sometimes dispersing, creating an unsettling atmosphere. Chijiao sighed. A blood moon indeed. Not only that, but within 3 seconds of his arrival, a horde of bizarre and grotesque plants had already surrounded them. Resonance lily. Its bell-shaped flowers synchronize with heartbeats. When fully synchronized, they detonate the heart. Phase-shifting willow. Its branches exist across different spatial dimensions. Conventional attacks pass right through them. Wailing agave. Emits sound waves mimicking human cries for help to lure and kill rescuers. Parasitic cornflower. Its pollen invades the brain, turning hosts into cultivators for new plants. Gravity Venus flytrap. Its jaw-like leaves generate 30x gravity fields to crush prey before absorbing their flesh. Lao Yu rattled off information about several eerie plants, earning an impressed thumbs up from Chijiao. Did you pull an all-nighter memorizing these? Lao Yu scratched his head sheepishly. And no. I just remembered after one glance. Damn. Young people and their sharp minds. After praising Lao Yu, Chijiao turned back to the window. Under the blood moon, these bizarre plants had broken free from the ground's restraints. They could now move or even fly freely. Great. Just great. The moment we arrive, you all come knocking? Good thing I pretended to be a newbie. Anyone else would have been wiped out. Train and all. This rickety train wouldn't last a second against them. No wonder it's a level 9 hazard. Chizhao sighed and collected today's arrival reward. Double luck. Still only 60 coins. No photosynthesis serum here. Guess we'll have to search that so-called greenhouse. The door was blocked by the aberrant plants. Most would be helpless, but Chizhao had another plan. Fate's Insight. Activate. An invisible ripple expanded from his body. 100 meters. No structures detected. 300 meters. Nothing. 500 meters. 800 meters. 1,000 meters. 1,200 meters. Veins bulged at Chizhao's temples as he pushed Fate's Insight to its limit. 1,400 meters. With the help of his dual necklaces. But nothing. As far as he could see, there were only grotesque plants. No trace of man-made structures. Was this damn greenhouse underground or something? After catching his breath, Chizhao pulled out the layout map he bought yesterday. Judging by the terrain and plant distribution, this should be Zone 3. Zone 3's greenhouse is near the border with Zone 2. Head south. Good thing he'd prepared for this. Chizhao had already accounted for the possibility that the greenhouse might be beyond Fate's Insight's teleportation range from their stop. According to station alerts, only living beings were targeted by the aberrant plants. Robots were safe since they didn't qualify as biological. Though manned vehicles didn't count. Even inside the train, they'd get surrounded, so metal-shelled humans were useless here. Only pure machines would work. Chizhao immediately deployed a drone. This high-endurance drone could operate for days without recharging. Its powerful engine conquered steep slopes and rough terrain with ease. Equipped with HD cameras, it captured crisp details even in low light. Its dynamic tracking mode locked onto targets with precision. And its particle cannon packed enough firepower to devastate enemies. With wireless tower support, it enabled long-range comms and control. A military-grade drone from Pi City, retailing at 20 train coins apiece. Chizhao had Xi requisition 1 through mission channels. Free of charge. No reason to pay when you can game the system. Train coins didn't grow on trees. First, locate the greenhouse. Then decide the next move. Chizhao opened the train door and piloted the drone outside, successfully launching it without attracting the plants. It flew 1.5 kilometers south. Chizhao's earlier detection limit. Before trouble struck. Oh no. Signal jamming grass. This stuff blocks most transmissions. There's a whole field of it. The drone's feed began glitching violently. No good. Forcing through would mean losing control. Before Chizhao could turn it around, the drone wobbled and crashed into the grass. Chizhao. Rough start. Damn it. Truth be told, drones were tricky to handle. Especially for a novice like him. Captain, let me try. I can go invisible. They won't detect me. Chizhao glanced at the volunteering Lao Yu. This was always Plan C, when both Fate's Insight and the drone failed. While Chizhao's group struggled to find the greenhouse, outside the Blood Moon Botanical Garden, the purple-haired girl had followed their trail. An invisible barrier separated this world. Even after exhausting her abilities, she'd only managed to dissolve a hair-thin crack after prolonged effort. Her expression darkened. Even if this isn't a looped world, a level 9 barrier? By the time I make an opening, they'll be long gone. And that damn train. Twisting and turning before diving into this nightmare. Stupid human mutt, you'd better not die in there. I'll hang you up and whip you till you're jerky. Chapter 283, I'm a plant human. Chizhao glanced at Lao Yu who had volunteered, then turned his gaze toward Tiding beside him. Understanding Chizhao's intention, Tiding stepped out of the train first. Strictly speaking, Tiding wasn't a biological being. He was a ghost, his current body merely an empty shell, an inanimate object. Tiding walked openly between the strange plants. A crimson strangler vine passed beneath his feet without paying him any attention. The bone-eroding dandelions flying overhead didn't drop their skeleton-parasitizing seeds. The nearby phase-shifting man-catching willow didn't swing its branches at him either. He remained completely unharmed. Damn it. We should have sent Tiding out first. Wasted so much time. Tiding, here's the map. Head south, there should be a greenhouse there. The photosynthesis serum should be in the core area. I'm counting on you. Tiding nodded, oriented himself, and prepared to depart. Captain. Me. Lao Yu waved his hands frantically, afraid he'd been forgotten. Tiding can handle it alone. It's too dangerous outside. Chizhao turned and patted Lao Yu's head. But. Lao Yu lowered his head, fidgeting. I want to help find the photosynthesis serum for you two. I want to contribute. Chizhao sighed looking at Lao Yu. Fine, test if your invisibility works. If it does, I'll let you go. Really? Lao Yu's eyes immediately lit up. He activated his invisibility, now perfected to include his clothing. His progress had been almost chi-like in its speed. Qi Zhao stood by the train door, one hand gripping the invisible Lao Yu. If Lao Yu got attacked, Qi Zhao could yank him back immediately. Fortunately, Lao Yu shook his arm as instructed, signaling he was fine. Only then did Qi Zhao slowly release him. Moments later, Lao Yu's voice came from 3 meters away, "Captain. I'm okay. They can't see me." Just as Qi Zhao relaxed, several red and yellow trumpet flowers the size of dinner plates floated into his fate perception range, right behind them. Sound-sensitive trumpets. These bizarre plants detected via sound waves and attacked with ultrasonic noise capable of instantly rupturing eardrums and causing concussions. Danger. Lao Yu. Before Qi Zhao could use his words of power, time 0 to retrieve Lao Yu, the sound-sensitive trumpets stopped moving. What's happening? They should be within detection range. Wait. Could it be? Captain. So can I go now? Lao Yu kept shouting, oblivious to the flowers above him that still didn't attack. Watching this, Qi Zhao's half-formed suspicion crystallized. Calabash brothers. Brothers from calabashes. Calabash, plant. Brothers, human. Could Lao Yu actually be a plant human? Lao Yu. Get back here. Now. Though confused, Lao Yu obediently returned. After deactivating invisibility, he asked nervously, "What's wrong, Captain?" "They didn't notice me. Can I go?" "No, I need to test something. Wait here with Tiding, I'll be right back." Qi Zhao went to the kitchen, grabbed the turtle bowl, then used his home builder hands and Simmons teleportation combo to instantly reach the train's last carriage. With 45 carriages plus modified expanded ones, the train now stretched over 250 meters. Just as predicted, all the strange plants lingering near the locomotive immediately swarmed toward him. Through fate perception, Qi Zhao confirmed Lao Yu's area was nearly cleared of plants. Exactly as guessed. Lao Yu appeared as a fellow plant to them. These bizarre plants only attacked living creatures, and this train's only living beings were right here, one human, one bowl of turtles. Previously, because the first carriage was too close to the kitchen, the plants had clustered there, obscuring this detail. Teleporting back, Qi Zhao grinned widely. Lao Yu was startled by his expression. "Captain, you. Go ahead, go with your big bro Tiding." Qi Zhao clapped Lao Yu's shoulder, laughing. "No need for invisibility though. Wouldn't want Tiding losing sight of you." "Huh? Lao Yu, remember what you are? I'm the vice captain. That's your position. I mean your species." "Species? Aren't I the same as you?" Then realization dawned on Lao Yu. I'm a calabash brother." "Exactly. You're a calabash brother. Calabash, plant. Brother, human. Lao Yu, you're actually a plant human. That's why you don't need invisibility, the plants won't attack you." This revelation hit Lao Yu like enlightenment. "Right. I'm a plant human. I'm a plant human. Go on, but stay safe." As Qi Zhao returned, the plants swarmed back to the front, blocking the exit again. This time Lao Yu walked out openly. The plants completely ignored him, just another plant in their eyes. "Captain, we're off." "Wait, come back first." Qi Zhao recalled the excited Lao Yu. "Take these, healing potions, antidotes, speed drafts, sanity serums, stamina boosters. Here, take them all. And wear this pendant. Be careful, no need to rush. They can't touch me inside the train." "Understood, Captain." Mission accepted. Fully equipped, Lao Yu took the map and communicator, departing with Tiding. Watching them leave, Qi Zhao inexplicably felt like a father seeing his kids off to school. Though technically, Tiding's much older than me. Shaking his head, Qi Zhao watched until they left his perception range. He took out his communicator to contact Lao Yu. The local network had a 3 kilometers range, any 2 devices within that could connect freely. "Report, Captain. No greenhouse at 2 kilometers. 2.5 kilometers, nothing. 3 kilometers, still nothing. Continuing south. No danger encountered. Stay safe. Roger." As Lao Yu passed 3 kilometers, their only link, the communicator, became useless. Qi Zhao sighed and put it away. Lao Yu's plant-human nature protects him from the plants. He's memorized all the materials I gave him, plus Tiding's with him. They should be fine. Despite this self-reassurance, worry lingered. Though who'd have thought I'd be the only vulnerable one on this train? Oh right, and those turtles. Chapter 284, Injecting the Photosynthesis Serum. Fortunately, they hadn't been gone for long. Just half an hour later, Lao Yu came flying back excitedly, riding on nanobots. Qi Zhao had kept the car door open, So Lao Yu flew straight in and landed in front of him. He was visibly thrilled, holding a bee in his hand. "Captain, I found it. The photosynthesis serum." Chi patted Lao Yu's head. "Did you run into any trouble?" "Nope, those plants completely ignored me and Brother Taidang. If anything blocked our path, we just went around it. Oh, and I also found this drone that fell into the signal-blocking grass." Lao Yu took out the drone from his golden gourd. "Though it looks pretty smashed up. Doesn't matter, it was free anyway." Chi examined the photosynthesis serum under the light. It was a yellow and black bee about the size of a thumb. It had a proboscis roughly 2 centimeters long. Its abdomen was swollen, and when held up to the light, you could faintly see golden liquid slowly circulating inside. "So this is the photosynthesis serum? I thought it would come in a medicine bottle or something." "Yep, Captain. I even took pictures." Chi took the phone Lao Yu handed him. The photo showed the bizarre machine. What made it bizarre was that the machine contained mechanical components, flesh, and even some plant parts. It looked like something no human could have created. "The photosynthesis serum generator. Yeah, this thing produces the serum," Lao Yu said excitedly. "Alright, let me try this." Chi pinched the bee and pressed its proboscis against his arm before jabbing it in forcefully. The injection method was essentially a simulated needle. As if sensing something, the bee's tightly closed eyes suddenly opened, and its body began rhythmically contracting. The golden liquid in its abdomen was pumped in pulses into Chi body. Once the injection was complete, its eyes closed again. The difference was that now its abdomen was empty. Soon, Chi felt an itch on his head. He reached up to scratch it and was surprised to feel a tiny sprout. "Captain, you're growing grass on your head," Lao Yu exclaimed. "Great, now I'm officially a plant person too." After injecting the photosynthesis serum and becoming a plant person, Chi swaggered out of the train. The bizarre plants completely ignored him. Seeing this, Chi nodded in satisfaction. Definitely the real deal. This serum worked like a charm. Perfect, problem solved. Next, he reluctantly killed all those turtles. The strange plants blocking the entrance, as if having lost their target, began dispersing. Some even took root on the spot, reverting to seemingly harmless ordinary plants. As Chi stored the train into his realm bracelet, he said to Lao Yu, "I'll stew a couple of turtles for you tonight." "Hell yeah." After storing the train, Chi clapped his hands. "Let's go check out that greenhouse." Taidang was still guarding it and hadn't returned. Chi and Lao Yu rode their nanobots southward. None of the strange plants they encountered along the way attacked them. A fiery red tree over 5 meters tall caught Chi attention. The two hovered in place. "That's a flame cashew. Eating it lets you spit fireballs at enemies. But you have to cool your mouth quickly, or after a few shots, your mouth might cook itself." "I know, Captain. Flame cashews should be paired with frost strawberries. Frost strawberries lower body temperature. They make your mouth super cool, perfectly countering the flame cashew's side effects." "Not bad, you've really studied these special plants." Praising Lao Yu made him scratch the back of his head sheepishly and chuckle. Harvesting this thing was simple. Just don't use anything below 28 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, the cashews would lose their special properties, becoming merely spicy snacks incapable of fireballs pitting. Since the harvesting temperature couldn't be below 28 degrees Celsius, normal people could just pluck them barehanded. The cashews were bright red all over, shaped like flickering flames. Chi plucked one and tossed it into his mouth. "Damn, that's spicy. Even worse than bird's eye chili." Huff huff. "No wonder it lets you spit fireballs." He tilted his head back and spat a fireball into the sky. Hot hot hot. The temperature in Chi mouth had suddenly spiked by over 10 degrees. A natural consequence of using his mouth as a cannon barrel. Still, the fireball's power was impressive, flying over a dozen meters without dissipating. He could test its full power on something later. Satisfied, Chi nodded. Beside him, Lao Yu was also suffering from the spice, panting with his mouth wide open. "Captain, that's too damn spicy." "Yep." Chi took out a bottle of ice water from his realm bracelet and tossed it to Lao Yu. Then he grabbed one for himself, and the two gulped it down happily. Next, Chi placed his hand on the flame cashew tree's trunk. Realm bracelet, store. The entire tree suddenly vanished. Chi had successfully stored it away. Let's keep moving. If he could figure out how to grow it inside the train, he'd have an endless supply of flame cashews. Each one could sell for 2 train coins. This wasn't just a cashew tree. It was a money tree. The thought made Chi heart race. There were a total of 52 types of special plants like this here. A few had effects so absurdly powerful that ordinary people couldn't even imagine them. If he could get his hands on some of those, he'd truly strike it rich. The two continued their journey, but before long, a deafening explosion echoed from ahead. It was a grenade blast. But aside from them, who else could be here? It was the shy grapes. If you plucked an entire cluster, nothing would happen. But if you picked just one grape, the plucked grape would explode within 3 seconds. The riper the grape, the stronger the blast. Ripeness was determined by color. Pink, unripe, purple, mid-ripe, and black, fully ripe. A black grape's explosion was comparable to a small fragmentation grenade. Of course, eating them wasn't impossible. You just had to bite them directly off the vine. Never pick them individually. Due to overripeness or other reasons, some grapes would detach from the stem and fall to the ground. That's why the ground here was pockmarked with craters. All from their own explosions. The blast they'd heard earlier had come from these grapes. Though they had spread into a large cluster, it was all from a single tree. After storing it in his realm bracelet, the two continued toward the greenhouse. The greenhouse wasn't actually far from where the train had stopped. Only about 5 kilometers away. If not for the blood moon, they could have found it through normal exploration. Soon, a massive glass-domed greenhouse came into Chijiao's view.